Yeah, what's good, people? This is the Daily Opinion. I need to change his name because it has been 4 days since I last posted, and it's just not fair to y'all for me to be fucking around like this, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Either way, welcome back. No one is listening to this podcast currently, but one of these days it's going to be bigger than Joe Rogan, and some of y'all going to have to eat my fucking nuts. No one said anything about it. I haven't told anyone about it, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's not growing. But I don't want to seem like a failure. Either way, a lot of stuff has happened this week. I could do like a weekly wrap-up instead of a daily podcast because things don't happen like every day. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah, one of the cool things that happened was that they had a trial, not an actual trial like with, juries and everything like that, but a trial of for medicine and shit. So these people had rectal cancer. They said that they were mutations, so they were harder to deal with, with chemotherapy. But they put them in a trial with a new medicine, and all 12 patients, they came out with no more cancer, which, is a pretty big leap. And I'm not exactly sure if rectal cancer is like the hardest cancer to, a hard cancer to get rid of, or like a super deadly cancer or anything like that. But I mean, shoot, as long as it's working, it's working. So, this thing is called dostarlimab. Like the word D-O star S-T-A-R limb L-I-M-A-B, sold under the brand name Jemperelli. Crazy fucking name, dog. They need to just make it something simple. Call the man Ed. Yeah, you're going to take some Ed today. Let's see, but this is the first clinical investigation of whether it was also effective, blah, 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 nothing, 12 people. Seen in a subset of whatever amount. Okay, none of that shit matters. Either way, we're killing cancer more than cancer's killing us. Well, no, that was a lie. It's still killing us pretty bad. But, if we can get rid of cancer, shit. I mean, I know that heart disease, because that's the craziest thing. Heart disease is usually preventable, I think. It's like eating right and making sure you don't take in too many carbs or whatever for older folks. But, cancer's still up there, probably number 3. What's number 2? Actually, let's look up the condition that kills the most people. Most condition. I'm not going to do that anymore. That kills the most people. Let's see what they have to say. Heart disease, number 1. Okay, top 10. I think the next one is like suicide or some shit. Oh, stroke. Oh, wow. I don't believe this. Okay, it says heart disease, then stroke, then chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Don't know what that is. I know pulmonary is hard, I think. Lower respiratory infections, which is crazy. Neonatal conditions. Trachea, bronchitis, and lung cancer. So that's smoking. Alzheimer's doesn't kill people. This shit doesn't make any fucking sense. Low income countries. Okay, whatever. Oh my God. Okay, well, we're going to have to figure that out. Okay. Yeah, because I know that they said if you're like under 45 and in the United States, the number one thing that you can die from is fentanyl disease or whatever. Okay, so we have kidney disease is number 10, I think. We have influenza and pneumonia, 9. Diabetes, 8. Alzheimer's, 7. Chronic lower respiratory, chronic lower respiratory, whatever the fuck number I'm supposed to be on. Cerebrovascular, that sounds like some hard shit. No, it's some stroke. It's a stroke-caused death. Accidents and unintentional is like 4 or whatever I'm supposed to be on. COVID-19, goddamn. Cancer, okay, there we go. Number 2 killer of Americans in 2020, 18% of all deaths. Yeah, and heart disease is 21% of all deaths. Damn. Heart disease remained the top killer. Okay, that sucks. I would do that. Man, I don't know. Like, grandpa dying from, like, fucking heart disease? Like, I assume that just means, like, you have a heart attack and die. They need to change that name, too. It's not a heart attack. It's when your heart just stops beating. It's just like, oop. Never mind, we got you, bro. I mean, but I don't know. That's scary as fuck. Just like your shit can just stop out of nowhere. Or embolism? What was that shit that's in your brain and then it just pops And it's like, okay, you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there, and then you're dead. Brain bleed, you're dead in 5 minutes. No one can do anything about it. We didn't know anything. Yeah, this health shit is crazy. That's why I always say that the only 3 problems you really can have, because people will cry over some stupid shit like, oh, I lost my keys and now I have to, go to the thing, and the day is just so hard on me. Had to go up to the dealership and get some new keys, and then my kid asked me to get a basketball, and he still needs a poster to finish this fucking thing. It's just too much. It's like, bitch, you don't have any problems, because really the only problems is medical, financial, and death, which kind of falls underneath medical. So it's unless you're in financial ruin or you got to pay for some shit that you ain't paid for, it's probably not a problem. If you can afford it and it's not going to hurt you, that's not a problem. You're just going to be a little bit pissed off, or if, you get any of these fucking diseases, kidney, liver, whatever the fuck, that's no good. And, death, because you're never going to see that person again. Anything else is kind of it doesn't matter. It really don't matter. I guess run away. Yeah, because if your kid runs away and you never see him again, that has to be something. That could be medical or death. Yeah, maybe instead of death, we say fucking never see them bitches again. Never see them no mores. I don't know. There's a way to put it to include anyone that you're never going to see again. If they're just going to leave your life. But that's the thing, because I don't think breakups are that serious. It's he broke up with you, whatever, move on. He's not dead. You can see him again and hit him back up in a year or something. Hey, you want some of this cooter? I'm be hey, shit, I'm about to beat that shit back down. And then you can be a better wife. Or maybe he just don't like you, trying to dog you out. Got to look out, ladies. That shit does happen. That shit do happen. I won't do that shit, though. Not me. Let's see. Okay, next one. That was actually pretty good. Did 7 minutes on one topic and went to different areas and asked myself questions. I want to do that do thing whenever I look things up, but then whenever I'm looking stuff up, I can't do some stupid, silly shit like that. All right, what is this? Oh, yeah. So in the UK or some shit, why am I saying some shit? It's definitely going to be in here. For thousands of lucky people, the work week is now only 4 days long, and they're still getting paid 100% of their regular income to do their jobs, even though they gain an entire day of personal time, which is estimated to be the largest 4-day work week experiment ever conducted. So, yeah, they're over here saying that 70 companies, over 3,300 employees in the UK are embracing work-life balance shift as part of the pilot program trial for blah, blah, blah. All right. So pretty much they get a 4-day work week. And the thought process on this, because they're doing a 4-day work week, but they're still working 10 hours a week, 10 hours a day. So, they're still getting that 40 days worth of production out. Actually, let me make sure about this. I don't know. They're doing 35 hours a week. So they call it the 180-100 model, meaning that workers get 100% of their pay, working 80% of the time in exchange for 100% of productivity. So pretty much the companies are if y'all motherfuckers ain't lazy during this 4-day work week, we're going to let you do it, because as long as we get the productivity and y'all are happy, it is what it is. So pretty much they're just saying if you work a little bit harder, you're going to have less time that you actually had to be at work. And 35, what is that? 4 to 35? That's definitely an odd number. That's not 10. 4 times 9 is 36. So they work in less than 9 hours. I don't see how that works at all. Because what do I work? We work regularly 8 hours. 8 times 5 is 40. Yeah, so they work a little less than 9 hours. So they're working about 8 hours and 45 minutes every day and working 4 days a week, but they just hope to get 100% production. I don't know. I'd love for this to work, but I don't think it is, because motherfuckers are lazy and people always want to take more and more and more. If you give someone an inch, they'll take them out, usually. So with companies doing some shit like this, they're going to be oh shit, I got 4 days. The last day's still going to be a Friday. People are going to be we're not doing anything on Thursday, right? Nope. And so all their productivity on that last day is probably going to plummet like it usually does on Friday, I feel like today. But we'll see. We'll see if people can come together and pull through. Because, shit, even CEOs are probably yeah, I don't want to have to work extra either. But, whatever makes me money makes me money. So money's being made, tis what it is. But yeah, I mean, that would be nice. And that's what people are really voting for or, trying to go for. But I don't know. It would be nice. I said that 3 times already. So I think I've established that I don't know, and it would be nice. It would, in fact, be nice. But, yeah, pretty much. There's also a dude some girl that was getting fucked by her ex in the back of a car and contracted HPV. And for some reason, they put in the little thing that he had like a cancer tumor in his throat. I'm like, how the fuck does this have to do with anything? So yeah, here's the story. And this is in Missouri, the Ozarks. If you haven't watched Ozarks, you probably do need to because it's a great story or a great TV show. Let's see. Wayman. A Missouri woman said she was awarded $5.2 million settlement against her ex-boyfriend's car insurance company. This is kind of fucked up, too, because this is going to kill his rates. She may have killed this man, honestly. And I don't understand how the fuck she could have ever gotten this. This is crazy. Her ex-boyfriend's car insurance company, after she claimed she got sexually transmitted disease from him after they had sex in his 2014 Hyundai Genesis. And they really had to blow this nigga up and say, he had a 2014, like, it's okay. It's okay to have a 2014 car. He's probably fiscally responsible. Now you just blew up his fucking insurance with a 5.2 million. That's more than a Lamborghini. Like, people say, like, oh, okay, if you hit, like, a Lamborghini, your shit's over with. Like, I remember I hit something that was, like, I had a $5,000 thing on my car because I ran over a speed bump or whatever a little too fast, and it fucked up my power steering. And that rose my rates. I can't imagine 5.2 million. That's ridiculous. The woman because she didn't sue the insurance company. Awarded, maybe not, I don't know. The woman told the insurance company her intention to seek monetary damages, alleging she contracted HPV, the human papillomavirus, for an insured member in his automobile. That doesn't make any sense. Court decisions revealed that in the suit, the woman alleged that her ex-boyfriend had been told that he had throat cancer tumor and was diagnosed with HPV, yet he continued to have unprotected sex with her knowing the risk. Like, if anything, then you would sue the ex-boyfriend for whatever reason. But also HPV, like 80% of sexually active adults have it. I don't think it's that serious. I know in women it can like cause like vagina cancer or whatever, but I don't know. That just seems extremely high for something that 80% of the people have. This nigga gave me the common cold. We'll sue him for $10 million. Like, what? And then also I'm going to sue the car insurance company? Huh? Court documents reveal that in the suit, the woman alleged that her I just said that. On Tuesday, after 5 years of uncertainty, the Missouri court, this is after 5 years, so 2022 minus 5, what is that, 2017? So he had a 2014? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Shit, he probably bought it in 2014. This nigga might be rich. On Tuesday, after 5 years of uncertainty, the Missouri Court of Appeals affirmed that Geico General Insurance Company must make a massive payout to the Jackson County woman in this unprecedented case. Los Angeles personal injury lawyer Miguel Custodio, co-counselor, blah, 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 blah. The settlement was reasonable. There is no reasonable shit about this. If you think about it as an injury sustained while in that person's vehicle, then it totally falls within. That's not an injury. What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. Because, like, does insurance pay out if you get, like, PTSD from a car crash? Like, I guess you could sue for that, but goddamn, no. This is crazy because, like, as many people that get fucked in the back of a car, like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's probably plenty of teenagers that caught HPV fucking in the back of someone's car. There's no fucking way. Yeah, I think they're going to go back on this. But that's the thing. I wonder if Geico gets their money back. This woman knew somebody that was like, she knew some government secrets, and they're like, hey, just sue Geico, we'll give Geico the money, and then, because you got to have like a paper train. They can't just be like straight from the government's pockets right into this woman's lap, because this shit doesn't make any sense. Usually injuries to the passengers are a result of collision or slamming the door on one's fingers, that sort of thing. But while a lawsuit over contracting STD from the insured driver may be the first of its kind, the award shows that it's not a stretch for someone to file against an insurance company for any actions occurring in a motor vehicle. That makes no fucking sense. Because, I mean, again, you could really just have a person, being yelled at in a car or whatever. Like, the bitch could have cheated or the nigga could have cheated. And then they get yelled at in the car. And then they're like, I sustained PTSD charges. Please pay me out. And plus $5.2 million, I'd be like, how about we give you $10,000 And you can fuck off because this is ridiculous. There's no way that you're gonna get paid out this much for getting the HPV. I can ask maybe HIV to cover medical costs, but there's not even I just don't understand how this is even like a feasible option for anything. And now fucking people, because I don't know. Yeah, this is gonna fucking spike insurance rates and motherfuckers like they're gonna be like, okay, because this is pretty much a health insurance at this point. Like if you just do it, anything that happens in a car, nigga, if a motherfucker shoots you in a car, they can be like, well, I guess technically it's your insurance because you shot me while I was in the motor vehicle. It's like that doesn't work like that. I thought insurance had to deal with the car, and I mean, I guess it's personal liability and bodily harm insurance, but it's like 5.2 million. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. But hey, the world's crazy, and I think it's just some weird correcting shit because I feel like some people now, or at least the judicial system is kind of like, okay, if motherfuckers can act like cats in the, classroom, then I guess this girl getting HPV can get paid out. But hopefully she does something with the money. She puts it in that, like, if anything, it's like going to HPV, like, fucking care or whatever. Yeah, she just came up off a fucking whole rat, but, or more than that. But hey, whatever. Another story I was reading about was the fact that kids now, since I think there's only in like California schools or like super liberal states. I'm a liberal, but I ain't like that liberal, I guess. But yeah, pretty much if your kid identifies as like a cat or a fish or a dog or whatever, they don't have to like answer questions in school and shit, and the teachers have to treat them as a cat. So there'll be people that say like, I'm a two-spirited demigod cat. And then, teacher's like, hey, two-spirited demigod cat, what's the fucking, like, what the fuck is in bread? And then they just meow and lick their little hands and put it on their face to clean their paws and shit. And then it's like, it's not the right answer, but it ain't the wrong one neither. So let's keep it rocking, and this is like, okay, so our kids are just going to fuck around in school, huh? We not just going to teach nothing. We already not teaching nothing, really. Like, I don't remember nothing I learned in no fucking public school. But it's interesting. Yeah, because it's just like, what the fuck? I don't know. Because I'm like, identify as a cat. I want to identify. Because, even with the pronouns or whatever, I want to be like, I'm like, don't fucking talk to me unless you call me sire, your lord, your majesty. Like, your majesty, do you have that assignment I gave you, the other day? And, I'd much rather, but then if you say shit like that, then they're going to say, no, this doesn't work like that. I'm like, if you can be viewed as a cat, I think I can be viewed as a majesty. But what animal would you be if you had to be an animal? Like if your boss was like, okay, like tomorrow we're doing animal day. If you want to keep your jobs, you better come in here and act like that animal for a good 10 minutes. It's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. I couldn't imagine California because it probably is like some fucking guy walks in with like a tail, it says like, yeah, I'm a fox. I'm very quick-witted. And it's like, motherfucking Gary, if you don't get to washing these dishes, nigga, this is your government. You are not a fox. Yeah, I wonder what causes, because maybe it's just some fun shit to do. If everyone else is doing it, it's kind of like some anime role play, something or other. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it would be cool if you were a kid, but I really doubt that this is going on in like adult world or anything like that. It might be. I mean, because at a certain point, you're going to be like, okay, I need a job at McDonald's. I don't think it's going to be playing that shit. They're going to be like, hey, if you want to be a fox, you can be a fox, but you're going to be a motherfucking burger-ass flipping fox. So get to work. So I don't know. And as the country, and I do feel like the country is getting more liberal as the time goes on, which is a good and a kind of a bad thing because, we're going to get a little bit more rights and freedoms, but then it might give you a little bit too much rights and freedoms where it's like, motherfuckers acting like foxes and squirrels and shit. I wonder, but so if there was someone that identified like as a tiger, or a bear, would they just be going after all the smaller animals and trying to eat them during like lunch period or something? Because they can't eat regular food. They can't break it at that point, you know? They can't just be like, oh yeah, or the rest of the day, oh, I'm a fox, I'm a squirrel, I'm a tiger. And then when it comes to lunch, it's like, oh, pizza. It's like, no, squirrel nigga, you better get some acorns. Like, tiger, we'll get you a nice big old T-bone steak, uncooked, raw. Like, go ahead and eat that, You can't just stop it just because you want some fucking pizza or some soda. It's like, nah, if you're going to do it, like, you don't wear clothes, take them clothes off. Put that tail between your butt cheeks and run around on all fours. I don't want to see you walking. I don't even want to. You better not talk no English. Like, if you can't answer the question in class, you better keep that motherfucking energy throughout the entire day with all your little animal friends, bro. Yeah, because that's code switching on a whole different level. All right, I think I talked enough about this. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. There was another mass shooting, which is tough. This is Friday, by the way, so I don't know when the fuck people are seeing this. But yeah, so we had a mass shooting at a manufacturing plant in Maryland, leaving several dead. Haven't heard too much about this one. It happened yesterday afternoon, I believe. According to reports, the government opened fire at a manufacturing plant in Maryland this afternoon. The Washington County Sheriff's Office told sources there were multiple fatalities. Yeah, so they don't have too much to go off of on this one. So, yeah, they don't have a lot right now. But, yeah, this mass shooting shit, even with jobs or whatever, it's like, I can't deal. I work from home currently, and I don't ever want to go back into the office. And that's the thing. Like, if managers and, CEOs and shit, yeah, we want to see you in the office. It's like, oh, okay, so with these mass shootings and with COVID, you're just like, we don't give a fuck about your life. Are you going to be in the office too? No, I got to travel and shit. It's like, so you want us to be in the office, whatever. Because in my mind, I'm like, if things is getting done effectively, then who gives a fuck where anyone is? Just let them be where the fuck they are. If they want to work at home, they can work at home. If they want to work in the office, they'll work in the office. Because, I don't know, if even office space are getting shot up, shit's no good. Because, there was this has nothing to do with nothing. But just a nice little story time. Well, it's not nice. It's about people getting killed. But pretty much, I had an HR person in one of my previous jobs, and she was telling me a story about how she became like the head HR lady of her office. So pretty much she was working at some sort of business as like an assistant to the HR, like the main HR bitch, or the bottom bitch at HR. And what's it called? So they were laying people off because the industry was dying. I think it was like coal or oil in West Virginia or some shit like that. And so they were slowly laying people off, like, as they were losing work. So then one dude came in knowing that they were doing these layoffs, and, they sat him down. He saw the HR person, he saw his boss, and then he saw like a third person. There were 3 people in the room like that were firing people, because they got to usually make sure that there's like plenty of people to make sure it's not like, I don't know, make sure there's no sexual harassment or whatever the fuck it is. So he gets in the room, sits down in there, kind of tell him what all is happening. And he just pulls out a gun and shoots all 3 of them, then kills himself. And then, that's how my HR lady was able to move up in that office, which is a crazy thing because she probably didn't get a raise. And I'm not going to say that. Yeah, that would be fucked up if I said that. But yeah, she probably didn't get a raise. And yeah, and like that's some scary ass shit, right? So I don't know. I think I told this story just because to be like, yeah, we should allow guns in the office. Because that's the thing. If you allow guns everywhere, and I talked about this last week with the NRA and everything like that, it's like no weapons of any kind past this point. It's like, hold on now, but y'all supposed to be the number one people saying that having weapons around is safer than not having weapons, But clearly they're just going back on themselves and they don't give a fuck about their ideals. They just care about the money that they're bringing in by their subscriptions and bullshit like that. But, yeah, so all that. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah, mass shooting. We don't know anything about it just yet, but not shout out to those people because I made that mistake the first episode. So whatever the opposite of shout out is, but the prayers go out to y'all and their families. Let's see. And then also we have in Missouri, they say that because gas prices reached, I think, $5 a gallon which is like, you know, breaking the shit, because like in 2008 or whatever, like the average was like 4.75, which is kind of crazy. Like due to inflation, it was probably a lot higher than $5 a gallon nowadays. But $5 a gallon. So they say Michigan police officers say they will not show up to non-life-threatening calls because gas is too high. If that's the case, then y'all motherfuckers don't need to be riding around and doing any, you know, traffic calls then. Because if you can't go to non-life-threatening cases, it's like, then I don't want to get a ticket for fucking speeding. You can't just direct the shit. Because it's like no one's asking you for the, you know, the traffic shit, but we are asking you to come. If I call you and say, hey, someone stole my shit, and then y'all just like, oh, okay, we ain't coming out there though. It's like, then what the fuck is the point of it? Yeah, because this shit blows my mind. Like, what's it called? When we also had that case, here, I gotta look this up while I'm talking so that I don't have any dead air time. Police don't have to defend you. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, Justices rule that police do not have the constitutional duty to protect somebody. And it's so fucked up because it's like their main shit is to protect and serve. I just don't understand. Like, stop using words that ain't, like, I hate when people use words just incorrectly. Like, just say what the fuck it is. Protect and serve, but we don't have to protect and we do not serve you. Like, because if you watch any of those videos with people, like, recording police stations, the police will walk outside and just harass the guy until he leaves, or like, you know, do some fucked up shit. I think if police officers 100%, if they lie about the law, that should be like, okay, grounds for you need to fucking leave. You know what I mean? Because, you know, they'll say, oh, you're breaking the law. It's totally constitutional to record on public property because the police shit is public property. You know, so they'll record and then they'll say, hey, if you don't leave, we'll have to arrest you. And then they'll put the cuffs on them or whatever and be like, okay, well, you know, we'll let you go now, and then they'll let him go. And it's like, so you just annoy the fuck out of me for no reason. Like, what is wrong with me recording at a police station? Like, the shit's all bricked up anyway. Like, me, bricked up. It's all bricked up anyway. So who gives a fuck? Like, I don't know. It's just all this wording and shit, it just doesn't make any sense. And then, you know, with the police officer shit, I'm like, no, you better, like, the civilians, the people that you should be fucking working with are the ones that are calling you. Like, no one's calling you off of some traffic shit. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy changed lanes too quickly. Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, you know, I think they even said, like, traffic stops, everyone hates them. It's just like a number one fucking thing. And that makes up for most of police's, the police officers, like, the shit that they do on a daily. You know, like, murders were like 0.1% or whatever the fuck, and then traffic stops made up like 52% of police encounters with civilians. And it's like, yeah, no one fucking likes that shit, getting a stupid ass ticket. So it's just annoying. It's just really annoying because it seems like they really can just do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, we're just not going to go to non-threatening calls, but we still will be. And that's the thing. I wonder if they're still going to, here, let's look it up. Let's see if police are still going to be doing traffic shit. I'm going to keep this one up because I need to read it. The justice rule that police officers do not have to protect anyone. Michigan police. Gas. Yeah, sure, that's good enough. I love Google. Just don't even have to. Exhausted funds budgeted for gas to manage non-urgent calls over phone amid gas prices. Oh, yeah. There was that 12-year-old kid that freaking, you know, went to a store and had a gun. Have found blah, blah. Okay, a Michigan Police Department says higher gas prices force them to reevaluate non-urgent calls. Feeling pain at the pump, whatever. Gas prices $5.18. Yeah, I want to see if they're still doing traffic stops. I really do. Because if you're just driving around aimlessly, because there was a police officer sitting outside my shit, just kind of chilling with his truck on. I'm like, what? We have exhausted funds. I have injured, blah, 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 blah. I hate when they fill it up. Traffic stops. How about I just do Michigan traffic stops? Michigan traffic stops. Okay, Michigan police traffic stops. Traffic stops. Oh my God. Michigan police officer charged with murder after killing black motorist. Michigan police officer charged with murder, killing a Patrick Leona. Michigan police officer charged with murder with Patrick Leona. I guess Patrick Leone is the whatever. Traffic stop data. Why do I care about this? Oh, interesting. All right. Doesn't fucking matter. This doesn't matter at all. Asian. Oh no, that's 79. White. Yeah, most white people get pulled over, it seems like. But yeah. I don't remember. Don't remember. Oh yeah, with the Michigan police officer. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, because I think those are also the police officers that said that they're not going to be chasing. I think this is the same, or maybe Illinois, but they said, yeah, we're no longer chasing any street racers. We're just going to take down their number and like try to do that shit. It just seems like police is slow. I mean, I do agree with that one, but it seems like police are slowly or just like, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to kind of sit back and do our jobs. Like, unless it's a murder, like, we're probably just going to chill, which I'm not super mad at, because these niggas kind of crazy. And I do believe that. You can quote me. So, yeah. Also, it says people in Thailand are now free to grow their own marijuana plants at home after its government officially removed cannabis from its list of banned drugs. Okay. So, yeah, I agree with this. This is an agreeable topic because I remember I had to do like some shit in college, like freshman year or whatever, off of like some sort of stupid topic. But pretty much the topic I picked was that I think it was Colombia legalized all drugs and only made it illegal to distribute them. So if you had crack, because they're like, we don't want to punish the users. Those people are like victims of the drug trade. And we want to hurt the people that are the ones making more victims, which makes sense. You don't want to get, it's like illegal to have bullets. And then the nigga that got shot got a bullet in his leg. And then you're like, you're going to jail. But the nigga that shot him is just like out there in the way. So that completely makes sense. But it's interesting to me that other countries haven't adopted this. I really do believe, because that's the thing. It's not a hard thing to be like, oh, okay, yeah, he had drugs on him. He hasn't done anything wrong other than just have like a individual amount of drugs on him. We're going to take him to jail. It's like, why? He hasn't done anything wrong except just have a material on him that he shouldn't. It doesn't seem like he's trying to sell it. He's just kind of chilling with it. Like, it never made any sense to me. And honestly, I just think it's just some old ass, Republican ass people that are just like, yeah, if you do drugs, you're the bane of society. And it's like, it's not like that. People can fuck up sometimes in life, but apparently y'all don't. No, the thing is that they can cover their shits up because they got like trust and everything like that. And they have rich ass parents. So when they drunk drive and crash into a car and barrel through 7 fucking people and kill 6 of them, then they just say, well, and there's a real story. I mean, I don't know if it was 6 people, but like a kid I don't even know if he was drunk. He just went on the side of the road and just killed a bunch of people. And then he got off because his lawyer was like, he is just so fucking rich. He doesn't know what bad is. It's like, hold on. I don't think that's very fair to like anybody. It's like, this poor bitch knows what bad is. You know what bad is. It's like, he's just so rich. He doesn't know how to not be a piece of shit. It's like, wow. And then he won. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess money rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. But yeah, interesting. I need to find another word. Abhorrent. That's abhorrent. Oh, with this fucking Thailand shit. Yeah, I don't fucking know shit about Thailand. I can only assume that I think them Asian countries really do crack down on drugs. And even like weed, because like I think that girl Brittany Grinder's still in jail in Russia, which is crazy. I really wish it was like LeBron James that got caught over there, or like when Kobe was alive, because the USA is gonna be like, hey, Russia, please don't fuck around with us. Please don't play around with us, because we will fucking annihilate that motherfucking country of yours. We'll send some people in, kill Putin, and then we just gonna go to fucking work on y'all. Do not play. But, we can't do that for Brittany Griner. I don't even think she's the best in the WNBA. And it's like Liz Cambridge or something like that. So it is. We're just waiting on it. And I think that's it for me. Oh man, this is crazy. 10-year-old Florida girl who shot and killed a woman her mother was involved with in a fight last week has been charged with murder because she also stabbed her 8-year-old cousin to death. Whoever this girl is a fucking sociopath. Whoever this girl is a fucking sociopath. Well, I can't really say she's a sociopath because I don't know if at 8 years old you can like conceptualize what death really is. And I guess like, I don't know. Like, I mean, she probably knows, like, if I shoot this, there's no way that she, shot someone and stabbed someone to death and didn't know what death is. But I guess, like, knew the severity of it. Like, people do die. Because, like, maybe if a kid hears, like, people die, it's like, oh, okay, people die, like, all the fucking time. It's like, they do, but you don't, it's kind of fucked up to make it immediate, It's kind of fucked up to have a hand in it, So I'm not exactly sure if she's like, oh, yeah, I know I'm doing bad things. Or it's like, yeah, it's like kind of a bad thing, but the same thing is like pushing someone on the ground. Because I know I would joke about death when I was super duper young. And, then when I started having it in my family, then it was like, oh, okay, like this shit is like sad as fuck. But, yeah, I don't know. Because apparently stabbing someone to death is like a lot of work. So like an 8-year-old stab, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Huh. Let's see what happened. Let's read into it a bit more. 10-year-old Orlando, I thought this would be in Chicago, if anything. All the gun violence. 10-year-old Orlando girl has been arrested on murder charges of shooting death of woman who was fighting with her mother last month. The girl, who News 6 is not identifying at this time, was arrested. However, blah, blah, blah. Okay, doesn't matter. All right, so this is also another thing that because charged with murder, I guess a kid can be charged with murder. They would have to just say as an adult, because that's one thing I really fucking hate is that, like, when they'll say, okay, he was 16, he killed someone, he's being charged as an adult. It's like, huh? I could have sworn, because it's so weird that we have like these hard rules on shit, but then when it comes to other stuff, we're just like, yeah, just fuck it, whatever, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Charge him as an adult. Because it seems like a good way to like distinguish between like, oh yeah, we want to lock this person up, or, he could have been 17, killed somebody, and maybe a different skin color, and then they're like, oh yeah, no, he's still a child. We're going to charge him as a kid. And it's like, yeah, but this other kid that's 16, he's being charged. His is more heinous. It's like, we both shot people. Who gives a fuck? Like, because clearly one is going to get a lighter sentence because, they're thinking they can rehabilitate him, rather than the other one that they're just like, no, charge him as an adult. His mind's already made up. He's a certified murderer, So it seems really fucked up. But, yeah, because that's the thing. If you're like getting charged with murder as an adult, and you're 17 years old, and then you go into like, a store and you're like, hey, I'm about to buy this beer. And then they're like, nah, you can't buy this beer. Or you can't buy this pack of cigarettes. It's like, what? Why? Because you're not an adult yet. I'm like, but I'm being charged as one. So I think they skipped me forward into being an adult. So I'm straight. And then, they can just be like, nah, you're not. Like, I just hate the fact of there's no consistency with it. It's like the justice system is programmed to be like, yeah, we want to fuck certain people up and other people we want to let off easy, and we can do that at our discretion. Huh? That doesn't sound fair at all. And you know what? It's not. And I really do think that a lot of people in the judicial system know it's not fucking fair. And if you look at statistics, you're like, yeah, this shit ain't fucking fair. If you look at the stop and frisk rates or whatever, it's like super duper high in African American communities. And it's like, wow, like it's weird that 74% of these people walking around have weed on them. And it's like, or the people that don't get caught just don't have, they just don't make a police report for it. So they're just unaccounted for, And also that's crazy that they can just stop you and just frisk you down like you're not doing anything. That just seems like an invasion of privacy. And I don't know how that could ever have been legal. And also, who gives a fuck? I just don't understand this whole weed argument. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm just like, let people smoke weed. Who gives a fuck? Like, let people do crack. That's the only thing. Like, I had someone tell me, like, yeah, with drug abuse, though, like, it leads to them committing crimes. And I'm like, okay, so they're trying to stop crimes before they get committed. But again, these people are more victims than they are anything else, because I doubt anyone wants to, like, lose their kids and go into rehabilitation and like, need to steal from their family and be ostracized from their family and, have to deal with shady ass people and sell their bodies maybe, just because of a, pill or drug addiction. I doubt that they're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. It's probably like, oh, I want to do this drug because I heard a little bit, and then the drug just gets a hold of them. I love how I got the drugs off of a girl stabbing some people. I need to stop saying, fuck. Let's see. Woman says you should never leave your man without busting him a nut when he walks out that door in the morning. He needs to be empty. I didn't put that down. I just read that shit off the front of the page. Stop saying, yeah. I agree with that. Because dudes cheat sometimes, but women cheat also, and you can bust as many nuts as you want to with a girl, and she will still go out and cheat because I feel like that's just emotional stuff, but that's a different date, and this is not a dating thing. I always stay away from that dating shit because I really do feel like the only dumb people, I can't say that, not only, like the majority of people that are posting on this shit or like talking about this shit are just dumbass people or just gold diggers or people that want clout because that makes sense, and it's like, oh, okay, I want to put myself out there because that's how I get a bigger fish, you know. But, yeah, I want to get a bigger fish, so I'm going to just reach out, try to touch as many people as possible, say the dumbest shit, and then let people know, and then hopefully I'll get some clout off of that. Next one. White pastor plotted to poison the water supply of a black community. White people and black people, this is a crazy thing. I just don't understand the whole racism aspect of stuff. Like, people really just hate people because of their color. Let's see. Yesterday, jury found 61-year-old Harry Jonas Conessen, whatever, some Christian group, guilty of high treason. That shit sound like some fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. You walk the plank due to high treason. Recruiting people to commit attacks and indictment of carrying out violent acts. That sounds like RICO or something. The prosecution stated that Conessen put together a group of individuals who thought of ways that biological weapon could infect and kill black people. Of their ideas, the group discussed the idea of poisoning water reservoirs used by black communities. In addition to those charges, the Middleburg High Court charged the pastor with unlawful possession of firearms at the time of the arrest. Weapons and ammunition were recovered. This is so fucking long. Oh, this is in South Africa. The plot by the pastor's group foiled in 2019 by South Africa's police, blah, 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 who gives a fuck. Highly alleged that Connessen's plot was motivated by his highly racial views. No shit, bro. And that he sought to justify his beliefs on religious grounds, claiming that they were ordained to reclaim South Africa for white people. And I do think white people are in South Africa. That's where Elon Musk is from. They talk in that weird jargon. But, yeah, I would never understand, like, I'm never going to just be like, oh, you look different than me, I'm going to kill you. I mean, maybe if you're like a monster, if it's just like I don't even know, if you see Man Bear Pig on South Park or some shit, I'm like, yeah, we can kill that. Or like octopi, yeah, we can kill them. I don't like octopuses, and I don't like cockroaches. You can definitely kill all the cockroaches, maybe not kill all the octopuses, because they kind of fuck around and they change stuff, and sometimes they can be cute, but I don't want one in my house. I'm pretty much scared of all aquatic creatures. I was thinking about that the other day, because even with like a fish, if there was like a fish in my room, I'd be like, well, nah, I don't like that. I couldn't imagine going in the ocean being like touched by a fish. I don't like fish. And I definitely don't like shrimp. Ugh, I can't talk about this anymore. I'm gonna freak myself out. What the fuck was I talking? When did I get the shrimp? Where's the shrimp conversation coming up? Oh, the white pastor plotted poison water supply black community. How the fuck did I get the shrimp? Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, people are racist in the churches, sometimes fucked up. It's so crazy because he's just like, because if you're in the church, you're probably like, if we kill people, that's really not that bad. Because then they go to heaven. That's the thing. I never understood the church system of that shit. It's like, yeah, if you believe in Jesus and, you know, you think he loves you. Because if I was in the church system, I'd be like, and I got diagnosed with something bad, I'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to let that shit ride. Like, I'm about to die soon. This is going to be lit. I get to go back to, you know, my home in heaven. But then they motherfucking want to take chemo and they want to, you know, take pills and shit. I'm like, no, if you believe in Christianity and you believe in God, let that shit fucking ride. And because that's the thing. If they're like, yeah, when you die, like, like if they're like, yeah, you make $1 million if you do this act, I'm never going to be like, oh no, something's happening, that, you know, the act or whatever. Or if you do this thing, you get $1 million. And I believe that, then I'm going to do that thing and then get that $1 million, right? Like, it's pretty much you do this, cause and effect, you do this, and then you get that. So if you live a good life, you believe in Jesus or whatever it is, and you live by the Bible, and you try to be the best Bible person that you can be, when you die, you go to heaven, and you're in love, you know, with God for all existence or whatever, then it's like, why the fuck would you ever not want to do. Nigga, I be walking out in the traffic. Just like I'm not looking both ways when I cross the street. If I need to go somewhere, God got me. I'm walking. I'm out there. You know what I'm saying? If I hear that there's a mass shooting going on, I'm still shopping, nigga. Hey, I got clothes to buy and shit. What the fuck? I wouldn't give a fuck about death. Like, if anyone tried me, I'd just be like, hey, you know, I call them wild shit. Like, you got a gun, bitch? Yeah, I do. Bet you ain't gonna shoot me. Like, yeah. Bet you won't. But yeah, so I don't know. It's funny to me how that shit works out, because he really in his head could be like, yeah, me killing people is not a bad thing because they just go to heaven. Or maybe he's just like, I hate black people and fuck them. Because that's the thing. In the Bible, I feel like, do they talk about racism? I know they talk about abortion. And then in the Bible, they also say, like, women can't talk in church and shit. And I'm like, where? Because one of my churches I went to when I was young, we had a female pastor. I'm like, I wonder what happened whenever she went over that passage in the Bible. Was she like, oh, we just gonna skip over this one right here. We gonna skip over this one. And that's the thing. All this shit's so up to interpretation that I can't go into Bible shit. Everything's up to interpretation. You can kind of flip it around any way that you want to, and all the stories are linked together, so you can kind of come up with anything that you, any you know, end point that you want, like any point you want to make, you can make it with the Bible. Because you can be like, well, back in Corinthians, something, well, then back in, and it's like, there's no fucking end to it, and there's really no reason to ever talk about the Bible. Let's see. The Children's Museum in Indianapolis has apologized for selling Juneteenth watermelon salad and removed the dish from its menu. I don't understand why people go with stereotypes in order to do the Juneteenth thing. The Juneteenth ice cream was kind of lit, though. I'm not gonna lie. I think that one was a good one because it was just like a good tasting ice cream. It had like cheesecake and red velvet cake swirl or something like that. I'm like, that's not racist. The only thing that it was that it said Juneteenth, and I'm like, well, that they do that for literally every holiday, but people were up in arms about that. Like, isn't that what people wanted? Like, every single holiday is made so it can be monetized. So when they try to monetize Juneteenth, they're like, don't do that. And the shit wasn't racist. Like, this watermelon salad is clearly just a stereotype, you know, unless you're supposed to eat watermelon on Juneteenth. And watermelon salad, that sounds like garbage. It sounds like shit. At least like a grilled chicken salad. Or you could just make some regular food and instead of calling it Juneteenth. All right. Breaking news, mass shooting. These are all past shit. McDonald's. Yeah, we already talked about that. All right, well, I think that's it for this week's recap. I don't think I need to. Yeah, I think I maybe have to do it just for the weekend and then for the week because, you know, all those stories were some elite-ass stories in my mind. But yeah, all right, everyone. This is Friday. Everyone have a great weekend. Please stay safe. Don't fucking shoot up any schools. Don't fucking shoot up any Walmarts. Don't shoot up any fucking malls, please. Yeah, and just, I don't know, figure out a way to be happy and not fucking hateful and try to make yourself better every day. Just a little bit better. Over 365 days, over that year span, that means you'll see a difference. But, yeah, enjoy yourself. Peace.